Thank you for joining me here this afternoon. The time is currently 4:01 p.m. Central, and you have a live look at a tornado-warned storm near Marshall, Texas. This is a rotating supercell capable of producing a tornado at any minute near the intersection of Interstate 20 and Highway 59. If you are included in this tornado warning, seek shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a building and away from windows, as I actually do think this supercell is very close to producing a tornado as we speak here, because if you look, the reflectivity presentation is very impressive. As you can see, we've got a very defined hook echo here. It's rotating pretty impressively, and this could be a rain-wrapped tornado. So again, if you're in Marshall or Scottsville, Texas, you need to make sure that you're getting to your tornado safe spot immediately if you have not already. In addition to that, we have about 6 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect right now across portions of Texas and Colorado, alright? Some of them being relatively significant. We just got a new one, by the way, for portions of Broward, Collier, and Hendry County, Florida, because there is some ping-pong ball-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds, and a possible tornado associated with this storm down here near Interstate 75, because yes, we do have some storms down there in southern Florida today, alright? We've had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings down here. The rotation with this one isn't necessarily that all that impressive, but it could start rotating, which is why the National Weather Service has put the tornado possible tag on this storm. So if you're in Turkey Foot, other areas along Interstate 75 here in southern Florida, make sure that you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately. Let's go ahead and move back up here to our tornado warning storm in Texas. Again, this is near the city of Marshall. This area of rotation, and again, possible tornado will be crossing the intersection of Interstate 20 and Highway 59 as we speak here, okay? So again, if you're in this area, you need to seek shelter immediately. If you're in Marshall, Scottsville, Jasper Heights, Gainesville, Queenie, Bel Air, Crossroads, it really doesn't matter. Anywhere in there, you need to be making sure that you're taking cover immediately. Now, we do have a tornado watch in effect down here in southwestern Texas, because some of these cells are actually expected to have that tornado potential to be associated with them. We do have an enhanced risk of severe weather for today for areas like Brownwood, Abilene, San Angelo, Big Spring, Midland, Odessa, areas like that here in western Texas do have that enhanced risk of severe weather in place. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up Stream Chat. If anybody has any questions at all about their location, feel free to leave those down below. I'll try to answer them accurately and honestly. But again, right now this is a tornado warning in effect. This is, again, for portions of Marshall in Texas, Harrison County. I believe this is actually the first tornado warning of, technically not today, there was one at like midnight last night, but the first one of this event. I believe this is the first tornado warning. And again, this is in the northeast corner of Texas here. The storm's going to be moving in the general vicinity of Shreveport, Louisiana over the next several minutes and next couple of hours here. Now, that's not to say Shreveport is going to take a direct hit from a tornado. I'm just saying a tornadic-like storm is coming in your relative direction here. Again, right now it's out near Marshall. Marshall's a decently populated area out here in northeastern Texas. It's enough to the point where we really have to start being concerned for all the people out here. Marshall has about 23,000 people, actually. So, you know, it's a little bit of a bigger town out here, maybe even a small city, if you want to call it that. I think that would be reasonable to say. So we got to watch this storm very closely here as it enters that populated of an area. And they did just condense that severe thunderstorm warning, but then it reverted back to normal almost immediately, so that's kind of weird, honestly. But, I don't know. Again, the main activity is actually expected to be across across portions of western Texas and southeastern New Mexico tonight. Again, we are already seeing severe storms fire off out here. Again, we got one out here that's actually pretty concerning. This is off to the southeast of Fort Stockton. At 3:58 p.m. Central Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm was located 30 miles southeast of Fort Stockton, moving east at 25 miles per hour. The severe thunderstorm warning will be in effect for portions of east central Pecos and north central Terrell counties in west Texas. So again, that's a severe thunderstorm warning out here for lime-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So if you're including this one, make sure that you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately. So back over here to our storm closer to Marshall. Again, this is looking like a pretty nasty supercell, honestly. We really weren't expecting that much convection to, pop out this far east. As you can see, the slight risk ends all the way back near DFW, but we're seeing some pretty dangerous storms out here near Marshall, and the main thing is just because, it's in a semi-discrete environment. It's not totally discrete, but it's discrete enough to the point where it could produce a tornado. So that's why they went ahead and issued this tornado warning for this storm here as it approaches Marshall and Scottsville. Again, if you're in this area, cannot stress this enough, you need to be in your tornado safe spot right now. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now as well. It's for portions of Cochran County, Texas. That's out here to the south of Morton. Downtown Morton is not included in this, but far southern portions of Morton are, so make sure that you are moving indoors immediately if you're out there in southern Morton, and if you're in Whiteface, make sure that you're doing the same in the western portion of the town. So again, that's for portions of central, really just the entirety of Cochran County almost. Yeah. And now we have another new severe thunderstorm warning for Gladewater and Union Grove in Texas. That's an extension for a storm out here that's originally near Big Sandy. We'll say the storm does have a little bit of rotation associated with it. It's relatively broad, but again, we're watching it here. If you're out here in this new severe thunderstorm warning, make sure to move indoors immediately. So back over here to our tornado warning storm again, as this continues to be just such an impressive supercell. I mean, several scans ago, just look at that, guys. I mean, that is just a very impressive supercell. I'm not going to call it a picture-perfect supercell because it's definitely not, but, I mean, just look at that, guys. Look at that. We got our tail, we've got our hook echo, we've got our very defined area of inflow here. You can just see it poking almost all the way through that storm there. We got our hail core in the middle here, or at least somewhat of a hail core anyway. But it's not necessary to have a tornado. You don't have to have a hail core with your storm, obviously, but that's just something that usually happens. So again, there's still some very clear inflow in here, and again, it's still definitely rotating. Now your rotation will be located in here, somewhere near Highway 59, to the south of Interstate 20, south of Bel Air in Marshall, Texas here. This is moving off to the east-northeast. Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're ridiculously impressive at this point, but we'll continue to watch it there as it continues to head closer and closer to downtown Marshall. Our most impressive wind threat right now in any of our storms is actually this one out here near Waco. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for downtown Waco and areas to the northeast of Waco for the threat of quarter-sized hail and damaging winds up to 65 miles per hour. This expires in 6 minutes, so they'll reissue, but if you're in Waco, I mean, this is on your doorstep, so you really got to start getting inside. Those winds are very dangerous. They're enough to down trees, power lines. It's definitely going to knock out power for quite a few people. It's enough to cause some structural damage to some weaker structures. And I would also like to note, we have just a plethora of flash flood warnings across portions of the DFW Metroplex. All the way from Waco back up towards Denton, we have flash flood warnings in effect. Yeah, that's like 20 counties there. We have 14 flash flood warnings in the entire country, and 10 of them are right here in northeast Texas. So, whatever that tells you. I'd be watching for any cells that, kind of form out here in our tornado watch box to quickly become discrete and dangerous. You can kind of see, actually, the dry line pushing westward here. So, right now, we're only going to see cells to the east of this dry line out here. So, that's why you're only seeing cells out to the east of there right now. But as this continues to push farther west, we are going to have that potential to see them form a little bit further off to the west, but not that much further. I'd say once you get towards, like, the Texas-New Mexico border, the likelihood of supercells forming goes down significantly. That's not to say they couldn't form, but again, I think the more likely development area is going to be out here in west central Texas. So again, this storm near Marshall continues to be very dangerous. Again, if you're in this area, you got to seek shelter now. Again, near the intersection of Interstate 20 and Highway 59. By the way, I do have an update. Our big beefy supercell that we were tracking for almost an hour last night, and actually it stayed for a few hours last night in total, I just wasn't live for all of it, did actually produce a tornado. near downtown Port Tales. It was a rope tornado. It had very brief ground contact. So we did actually get a tornado touchdown out of that supercell last night, but it wasn't evident based on the radar imagery that we had seen. It didn't look any more impressive than it had already been, so I didn't really notice it, and I did not go live for it, but just thought I should give a quick explanation of what happened with that supercell down there. We got ourselves a storm here to watch near Miles, by the way. And again, these cells are just popping off ridiculously fast out here in western Texas. And I think right now the most concerning one to me is going to be this one north of Gardendale. This one is looking like it has the most tornadic potential to me. You can just see how it went so quickly from just a little rain shower out here near Old Place Windmills. And what happened was another shower formed near there, and they kind of merged into one and became a lot more impressive here. This is heading off to the east, northeast, I would say, kind of out towards areas along Highway 349, Tarzan, Grady, Lenora, Knott, Fairview, Big Spring. I think we're going to be talking about your areas a lot later tonight if we do happen to go live again. And we do have another new severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, for El Paso and Pueblo counties in Colorado. It's an extension for our storm along Interstate 25 south of Fountain for areas like Wigwam. So if you're in this area, make sure that you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately. That's for the threats of half-dollar sized hail and 60 mile per hour damaging wind gusts. Let's go back out to our tornado warning storm here in Texas. This tornado warning expires in 1 minute, but they're almost certainly going to reissue it. I mean, it doesn't look any less impressive to me than whenever they first issued that warning. So continue to stay in your tornado safe spot out here, unless they do let this warning here expire, which I would not expect. I think they're definitely going to reissue it here. Wow, this is such a funky supercell here. Our rotation's actually right in here with our hook echo. Ready to find hook shape on that storm once more here. So again, this is going to be approaching downtown Marshall and Scottsville within the next several minutes. That tornado warning has now expired, but they're almost certainly going to reissue that. I'd be kind of shocked if they didn't. So continue to stay in your tornado safe spot out here until at least another few minutes where we're sure they're not going to reissue this warning. But again, I personally think they're definitely going to. At the very least, they'll give this a severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag. I don't know, though, because it may not be a severe thunderstorm. It's just really tornadic. And we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning, by the way. The alert sign didn't go off for it, but this is for the Mexia area. It's an extension for a massive line of storms here that right now is rolling through Waco. It's continuing to produce the threats of quarter-sized hail, and now it's down to 60 mile per hour winds instead of 65, but take that just as seriously. A 5 mile per hour gust is not going to make a big difference. If you're in that area, make sure that you're moving indoors immediately. If you're in a mobile home, just try to find a more substantial structure. If you're outdoors, obviously get inside, like I said. Okay, we have a new tornado warning now. This tornado warning has now been reissued for downtown Marshall and Scottsville, Texas. If you're in Marshall or Scottsville, take cover now. Again, they reissued this tornado warning now for Bel Air, Scottsville, Marshall, and Karnak. So if you're included in any of those towns, seek shelter now. And they condensed that That's kind of weird. Okay. It looks like they did, but maybe they didn't. And we have another new severe thunderstorm warning. That's for Dallam, Sherman, Cimarron, and Harley counties in Texas. That's an extension for a big storm out here near Stratford and Boise City. Or sorry, Hartley, not Harmon. But yeah. So, if you're in this area... Whoops, sorry about that. Wow. I mean, that hook echo is really poking out again. It's really showing its strength there. This supercell is. Sorry guys, give me just a second here. And we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now that's going to be in effect for portions of Freestone, Limestone, Navarro, and McLennan counties, Texas. No, that's not. I don't know where the new one is. Oh, here it is. Good thing I have the flashing on. That's for a storm off to the southwest of McCamey here. $half-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds could be associated with this severe thunderstorm. So if you're included in this new severe thunderstorm warning, make sure that you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately. I do notice a little bit of rotation there, but it's nothing crazy. To the southwest of Girvan. Or Gervin. I think it's definitely Girvan. That sounds more natural. Whoops. I'm trying to find a good alert sound for whenever there's a tornado warning. Here we go. I don't want to, like, freak anybody out, though. I don't want to make, like, some crazy, like, mixtape of alert sounds. It just needs to be something where I can grab anybody's attention. Oh, sorry, I did not see all these chat messages, by the way. Anything happening towards Houston? Not right now. Most of it's going to stay up to the north of Houston over the next couple of hours here. Yeah, sorry guys, I didn't see your chat messages. Yeah, that hook is very impressive. Oh my gosh, that's intense. Dude, some of these are like... It looks like people... it looks like they're intending people to use these, like, to go to sleep. Like, one of them is called Storm Ambiance, and it's just a tornado siren. I don't want want a siren. I just want like a beep, beep, beep. Here we go. I don't know if I want to use the Apple emergency alert sound, though. That's still kind of creepy. Is 90 degrees there? Yeah, it looks like about 90 degrees. Let's see here. You guys think that's too intense or no? I'd only use this for like tornado emergencies. I'm gonna make like a alert that we can play whenever we have a tornado emergency, because obviously that's a very big deal. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, in effect for Dallam, Sherman, and Hartley counties, Texas, and Cimarron County, Oklahoma. No, that's not the new one. Never mind then. I'm not sure where the new one is. Let's, oh, it's this one here. For Waco. So, this part of the storm is warned for half dollar size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Again, this is a big line of storms here, guys. So, the threats are going to vary depending on where you're at in front of that line. Again, we got this little prefrontal ahead of it that's managed to warrant a couple of tornado warnings here from the National Weather Service, as this storm is looking pretty intense here near Marshall and Scottsville. This is going to head very close to Scottsville. So again, if you're in this area, you got to seek shelter immediately. Very dangerous storm here. Very dangerous situation. Yeah, I don't know. I'll use, I don't know. I'm working on the emergency alert sound for when we have a tornado emergency. I don't know. And now we have another new severe thunderstorm warning. McLennan and Falls County, Texas. That's in effect for the next hour. Wow. So, that goes all the way out to Marlin. They've really extended it far ahead of the storm here. So if you're in this area, make sure that you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately. Sorry, that's actually not the new one. That was already in effect. What am I talking about? The new one's out here for Tyler and Winona. Quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. If you're in Tyler, make sure that you are moving indoors immediately. Pretty massive storm out here. Well, not massive, but pretty big storm out here. Again, I'm worried about our storm near Scottsville. I really am, guys. I do think this is going to be kind of the big supercell here that we watch for most of the stream. Kind of off and on. Mostly on, though. Sorry, I'm trying to experiment here. No, I mean, I wouldn't go as far to say this must be a tornado. There could be a tornado. I wouldn't say this must be a tornado. There's no confirmation of it yet, based on what we know. But it is very close, and everybody in the warning box should treat it like it is one. So once again, this is a test. This is not real. I'm gonna see if. Hold on. Just let me do it this way. This is a test. I'm gonna put this along with a video, and whenever there's a tornado emergency, we're gonna play this video. So let me know what you guys think of this. Dang it! Of course now it doesn't want to work. Well, thank you, Google Translate, for being obnoxious. And now I refresh, and it's going to make me rewrite the entire message. Okay, never mind then. I wrote like an entire paragraph of stuff. Whatever. I'll do this another time. Right now we gotta focus on our storms. Marshall, Texas has a population of 22K. Yeah, we kind of brought that up earlier. Yeah, so I kind of mentioned this earlier. This supercell is just convecting like crazy. Actually, this is not the one I mentioned, I don't think. But yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, because it was two rain showers and then it collided. Is this the one? I don't know, but one of our cells out here is getting pretty concerning near Gardendale. This is the one. I remember it being near Gardendale. Alright, so we do have a new tornado warning now. Or sorry, severe thunderstorm warning, not tornado warning. For parts of Terrell and Pecos counties. Pecos counties, or is that for Smith County? No, that would be our one for Terrell and Pecos. Yep. It's for the threat of golf ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts. So if you're in this area, make sure that you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately. Wind-driven hail will be a big threat with this storm. I will say this storm is basically stationary at this point, guys. It says it's moving east at 25 miles per hour, but this warning polygon is almost the exact same as the other one. So, big-time hailstorm up here, though, south of McCamey, with a large hail spike associated with it even. Look at that. I wouldn't rule out some lime to tennis ball sized hail being associated with this storm. It's also rotating a little bit. It does have the tornado possible tag on it. I believe I mentioned this earlier before the tornado possible tag was thrown on it. But anyway, not to toot my own horn or anything. So, again, we do have a tornado warning in effect now for portions of southeastern Harrison County in northeastern Texas. This is for the cities of Marshall and Scottsville, Texas here. Make sure you're seeking shelter immediately. It's a very concerning hook echo there. That's the main thing that's been keeping our tornado warning in effect there, I think. And we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now for Broward, Hendry, Collier, and Palm Beach counties, Florida. They did extend this severe thunderstorm warning now that it has expired, so this cell is still reaching severe limits. It's still quarter-sized hail. Well, before it was ping-pong ball-sized hail, but now it's quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and a possible tornado here. If you're in this area, make sure that you are moving indoors immediately. This includes areas along Interstate 75 off to the west of Fort Lauderdale. Pretty rural area, actually, out here in south central Florida. Really, a lot of the action is on the coast here in Florida. Everywhere in the middle of Florida is relatively empty. Especially in, like, south central Florida. Like, to the south of Lake Okeechobee, however you pronounce that. Very rural area here. There's almost no people out here at all. And we have another new severe thunderstorm warning now that's going to be in effect for portions of Ector, Midland, Martin, and Andrews counties in Texas. This does include Midland. So if you're in Midland, Gardendale, and this is for the cell that we've mentioned a couple times now. So if you're in this area, move indoors and away from windows immediately. This is for the threat of half-dollar sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts. So, yeah, the Florida Severe Thunderstorm Warning only includes 168 people. So, very rural area overall. I will say there's a school out there, but alrighty, Roo. So I was being silent there. I just had some big information that I just found out about, not related to weather. But back on track here. Then we're watching a tornado warning storm. And then also a big hailstorm out here close to McCamey. Wow. Big chunky hail core with this. Again, very large hail. We are getting DBZ values up to 70 now. So back over to our tornado warning storm here near Marshall. This tornado warning does remain in effect until 4:45 p.m. Central. Again, the storm is moving almost directly towards Scottsville. It's kind of along a little over Interstate 20 now. The rotation area is anyway. So if you're in this area, make sure that you are seeking shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a building, interior room, away from windows. So, there you go. For anybody that wanted an update on that. All right. So again, this storm is continuing to rotate near Scottsville. It's not quite as impressive as it was earlier, but continue to stay in your tornado safe spot out there. And then our big-time hailstorm near McCamey. Let's get an update on that there. Again, to the southwest of McCamey, massive hailstorm here, producing very large hail, creating a hail spike effect. Basically, for anybody that's not aware what's happening here, is the radar's trying to send a signal through the hail, but it's literally so dense that it kind of breaks the system, and it creates what we call a hail spike here, where we have what looks to be some light little sprinkles out here that kind of poke out of our storm, but that's actually just what we call a hail spike. It's a glitch. So we have some very large hail there. Our storm near Scottsville is continuing to rotate. Once again, no major updates on that. I'm going to go ahead and look at the SPC website, see if we've got any new information to show you guys. No, we do not. So I think at this point, what we're going to do here is end off our live stream. If you guys did enjoy, please be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.